So welcome back to the Happiness series and to day 4 of part 2. Now today I'd just like to pick up on a few of the things that we were talking about yesterday. And this idea of discrimination in compassion. In some ways, I think that can often sound a bit confusing and a bit conflicting with this idea of just sort of a wave of compassion expanding out in every direction. But I think it's important that we are aware of both that bigger idea that we genuinely wish everybody to be free from suffering, from difficulty, and at the same time we're aware of the relative values of the society in which we live and of the environment in which we place ourselves. So on the one hand, when we're talking about compassion, absolutely, we're saying that it doesn't matter whether this is somebody close to us, somebody far away, whether it's somebody who says nice things to us or somebody that says horrible things to us. We're not discriminating in that way, in the bigger sense. In the biggest sense, we're saying we know what it feels like to struggle, to experience difficulty, again, whether it's physical, mental, emotional, ourselves, and therefore, from that place, from that understanding, we don't want others to suffer. And that's part of that exercise, that imagining that wave of compassion spreading out in every direction. It's just that within our everyday reality, we have to apply a certain amount of reason. And we have to be aware that sometimes people will behave in a way which isn't helpful to us, but it's not helpful to them either. This is a very tricky area. This isn't about telling other people kind of how to behave. I'm talking about generally quite serious scenarios here where people are genuinely being hurt as a result. This is the time to apply a sense of reason based on the relative values to which we all live by. It doesn't mean that we can't continue in the bigger sense of the idea of compassion, continue to include those people within the exercise itself. It's just that within everyday life, we have to find a way to live skillfully and comfortably in our environment. And we have to make sure that people aren't simply being allowed to behave in a way that's hurtful or harmful to others, but in the name of compassion. So again, something to reflect upon perhaps after today's exercise. But for now, just as always, take a moment or two, have a wriggle around, get comfortable. And then when you're ready, some nice big deep breaths. And as you close the eyes now with the next out breath, allowing the breath to return to its natural rhythm. As you just take the next minute or so to become a little bit more aware of each of the different physical senses. And now just coming back to the sensations in the body as you scan down from head to toe, building up a picture both of physical sensation and emotional feeling. So before we shift the attention to the breath now, clear about the intention, clear about exactly who this practice will benefit other than yourself. And now as you begin to become more aware of the breath and that movement of breath in the body, just resting the attention just for the next few minutes with that rising and falling sensation. And now, as you continue to follow the breath, at the same time becoming aware of a tiny pinprick of light in the middle of the body, reminding yourself of the qualities of that light and also the potential of it. And in your own time, just watching, following that wave as it very slowly begins to expand throughout the body and then far, far beyond the immediate space around you. Incorporating anyone, everyone, no matter who they are or where they are. And with the next out breath, letting go of any focus on the breath or the visualization. But in that space, just allowing the mind to be completely free. And now, just bringing that attention once again back to the body, back to the sounds, the smells, the physical feelings, and even the things that you can see as you just gently open the eyes again. Very natural transition from the exercise to everyday life. Still equally aware, equally present, clear at how you feel, clear about the importance of being aware and present throughout the day. And when you've done all those things, just sitting back in the chair, having a stretch if you'd like to, and before kind of racing off anywhere, before moving on to the next thing that you're going to do, just taking a moment to reflect on a point that we began with today, that in the biggest sense, this is about not differentiating between those people who are really close to us and those people that aren't. So today is more, it's less about kind of a task as such. It's more a physical task. It's more about noticing a tendency to wish those close to us to be free from difficulty, and perhaps not feeling quite the same way about those who either we're indifferent towards or those that we really kind of don't like for some reason. So it's really important each time we kind of see that we acknowledge that we just come back to the idea of how it feels when we're unhappy or discontented in some way in ourselves, again, whether it's physically, emotionally, or mentally. If we can do that, if we can remind ourselves of what that feels like, then immediately we have the opportunity to meet that other person in a place of genuine empathy and understanding. Personalities are taken out of it. It's just a very human connection. Recognizing that human condition allows us to experience a genuine sense of compassion. And of course, this immediately affects the way that we feel in ourselves. And I'll come on to that tomorrow as I talk a little bit more about that relationship between compassion or empathy and contentment and happiness within ourselves. So I look forward to seeing you then tomorrow for day 5 of part 2.